Hey everyone, this is Rachel, and today I'm here with a new scrapbooking process video. Thanks so much for joining me here, and I hope you enjoy. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome, and I would love it if you would become a subscriber. You can also click on the notification bell so you always know when I have a new video up. Alright folks, let's get going! Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Stash Bash, my series with Kelly O'Black. This month we are back again, this time using our Felicity Jane stash. Now, I was never a subscriber of Felicity Jane, but what I would do is I would buy a whole bunch of her stuff when it went on sale, and I happened to mention this in several videos, and Kelly thought that sounded like a great idea, so she too started doing that, and now we both have a pretty extensive Felicity Jane collection. So we thought it would be great to go ahead and scrapbook that. I have one photo I'm going to be scrapbooking, and I've misplaced it, but it is of my cat, Miss Xanthe. So I'm going to be doing this one photo layout using Felicity Jane product. A lot of this is older stuff because I have recently stopped purchasing it because as I said, I have quite a collection of it, and it seemed kind of silly to keep purchasing the very girly, florally Felicity Jane that it tends to be when I have a decent enough supply of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get you guys put on fast forward. Before I do, I will say in the description box below, you will find a link to Kelly's video. Also, if you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. I always appreciate that. It helps get my channel seen, as they say. All right, so that is what's going on right now. So let's get going. One thing I did forget to mention, I'm actually working on a challenge for an online crop from my little scrapbooking store, and I am following that little recipe that was on the Post-it note. So I want to make sure that I have one photo, that I use 3 pattern papers, I have some mixed media, oh sugar, what were the other ones? I don't remember, but you saw it, so I'm sure I'll remember once I get going. Oh, washi, and something else. I don't remember. So there's my photo of Ms. Xanthe. My housemate and my nephew both got the new iPhone 11s, where you can use the portrait mode on pets. And so they had fun taking some photos, and this is one my housemate took of my cat Xanthe while she was sitting on her lap, looking gorgeous, of course. So I've picked 2 of my 3 pattern papers. I have that yellow scallop one, and then that black floral, black piece of paper with the yellow floral. That happens to be my absolute favorite floral that Felicity Jane has ever done. I did use it on another layout, actually about myself. So I was happy I got to use it again for another layout. I did go and grab a black piece of cardstock. So my cat is what's known as a tortoise shell, so she has shades of black and yellow, and so this color palette is actually perfect for her. I just don't use it very often because it is so dramatic. I did also pull that little polka dot in black and white, and that is going to be my 3rd pattern paper. So I matte my photo with the yellow scallop paper, and what I'm going to do is leave a little bit more on the bottom edge with a couple of those scallops kind of being its own embellishment placement. Like the yellow in her just pops when you matte it on that photo, on that paper. So I have it, I start with 5, and then I go down to 4, and then I decide, no, 3 is going to be the perfect amount of scallops for that to work out, well, I don't know. Sometimes our brains just tell us these things, and we have to follow them. I then go ahead and trim down the black and white paper. I think for a second to use the other side, which is diagonal stripes, and I do love a good diagonal stripe, but it was just too much. And then I trimmed off about 2.5, 3 inches, and point in fact, that is actually just a little bit too much that I trimmed off. No big deal, I managed to fix it, but I'm talking about the black and white stripe, not the floral. The floral is a perfect size for what I'm looking for, but the black and white polka dot, I just trimmed it a little too short. for what I was looking for. So I end up trimming it in half and hiding the fact that it's split behind that floral paper, which is fine. It's an old scrapbooker's trick, no big deal. I do it quite often. And so I just give it a whack right in the center there and stretch it out. Really, it was just about a ½ inch. Now, for some reason, I was incredibly concerned about having everything be straight. So I do pull out my T-square ruler for pretty much everything involving the paper here. Now, I will say, while I was doing this, I was Zooming with friends while we were all scrapping. And so perhaps I was concerned because I was chatting and stuff that I would not be paying attention. Because I actually did that in a previous layout when I had been Zooming. I was kind of like putting things down a little wonky and then having to go back and fix it. So I was probably just making sure I wasn't doing that. So once I get my photo down, that's all I'm going to do with the papers. This is a very dramatic color palette, so I'm keeping everything on the simple side with layers and embellishment and even the paper choices. You know, I've got that larger layers versus tucking everything behind because, as I said, the color palette is just so dramatic. Now, I'm pulling in some washi because that is part of my recipe that I'm doing. These are little washi strips from, everything is from Felicity Jane except my title. Now, I'm going to take it's actually a gold polka dot, and I'm going to bring in some gold Heidi Swap Color Shine. So I was actually really happy to bring in some gold other than the gold Color Shine. So I pull in that piece of gold polka dot that was had been already torn. I'd used it on another layout, and then this is a black and, well, it's just got a little black design on it, so I popped that below the black stripy piece that was the branding strip. I'm going to bring in a little bit more of the washi shapes later as part of my embellishments, but for right now I'm going to start working on my title. From these gold puffy thicker words, I pick out the word beautiful because she really is a very pretty cat. She can be obnoxious. For those of you who are regular watchers of me, you do know she does quite enjoy getting on my desk whilst I'm trying to scrapbook. But she is just a very, very pretty cat. So I'm pulling out the word beautiful, and then I'm going to my absolutely favorite thickers recently, the Garden Grove, which are gold. They have a gold foil on top of a foam backing, and that is just, it's a great shiny look, but the foam makes it stick, so I get super duper happy about that. So my entire title is going to be Beautiful Girl. Although I do add a little embellishment there that I guess you could say my title has an extra word in it. We'll get to that when I start embellishing, which will be in just a few seconds. Once I get my titles put away, I start back to the washi. I pull out that little gold foil striped heart. I then add another one of the little micro dot pieces that match the torn washi, and that is the circle, and then I add a little flag next to the word beautiful. You really don't see it. I don't know why I did it. I do pull out from these puffy words the word, oh sugar, on the black. I want to say, is it love or today, something along those lines, but then the one on top of the circle says sunshine, so my title could be construed as Beautiful Sunshine Girl, but, you know, whatever, I'm not going to be picky about it. I then also pull those black and white puffy hearts. I am going to move one of the hearts later on, and then I pull this little file tab, and I glued it really, really well. So you can trim them off, so you just use the front half, and then you get double the usage out of it, but I like the way it looks when it's folded over, and I was trying to slide it on that piece of the top of my photo, but I glued it too well, so I just ended up gluing it under, and it's fine. I spent way more time doing that than was necessary, let's just say that. I'm about to start something, and I probably should have edited this part out, so I apologize for the Rachel's doing nothing except looking at her layout. So I'm going back through my die cuts, and I'm pulling out this label die cut for my journaling, and I know it needs to layer on something besides just being on that piece of paper, so I find this tag with little hearts on it, and that is going to work perfectly, and that's actually where I'm going to bring the puffy heart down to, rather than leaving it up by the word beautiful. So yeah, so here's where I pull that down. It just didn't make any sense. You couldn't see the piece layered under it. It really disappears into that polka dotted paper. I just wasn't going to try to pull it back up because I was afraid I was going to tear my paper. So here I'm just going to layer that label over the tag, and then I will do my journaling on it, just basically talking about how the phones were totally worth it, since we can now get shots like this of the animals, because they just are so, we love our animals, and we're so happy, we love taking pictures of them, so, you know, obviously it's fun to do that, so why not have a nice camera in order to do it? So I have the rest of these puffy embellishments, and I decided to add that little butterfly up there. Once again, I don't know why. You really can't see the piece that's layered under it, but that one being much smaller than the heart, it does not look as bad. And then I pull out these puffy dots. I think they're supposed to mimic like enamel dots, but they are in fact a matte puffy dot. And I add a couple of those in each of the embellishment clusters in gray, black, and white. Going to go ahead and do my journaling, and as I said, I'm just talking about how, you know, the phones were totally worth it when you can get photos like these. I just want to say, make sure you head on over to Kelly's channel. The link will be in the description box below to her actual video, and check out what she's going to do with Felicity Jane this month. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. I'm almost done. I'm just going to add my last piece, which was mixed media, so I'm adding a very, very liberal amount of the Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine in the same 3 embellishment clusters. So because I've got that dark background paper and the dark floral paper, I really wanted to take advantage of that and be able to see the gold show up on both of those papers. And I love the way this layout turned out. Like I said, very dramatic color palette for me, but it works, and I love the way it turned out. Double checking that I got all of the things. Thank you guys for joining me here. Once again, if you can flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye!